dreamt about my father probably 3 times after he died, because we never really had a close relationship. So ever in my dreams, my father is trying to reach out. He just asked me for tea. So when something like that happens in a dream, it's a matter of
Did
you do the ritual like how he had asked of you?
No, not yet. We've spoken about it.
Why not?
Why not? Because I am not at the time or space personally to be doing that, because I've got some of my things that I need to sort out before actually executing what my father asked me.
It means that now your father has to wait.
I've done my duty by passing the message on to the elders. I've let my mother know about what I dreamt.
Yeah, so everything has to be surrounded around your dad. From ukphahla baba, ngitholile leyo phupho leya. Ngenza kanjani mangiqhubeka? Imali yazikho yazibonela. Ngiqhubeka kanjani? You know, those kind of information. All of that communication should happen between you and your father, who is your ancestor. We understand and appreciate that your family comes into play, and they make things easier because they have a greater understanding, because they have rituals as well. But mainly, it's the ancestor themselves that has to speak.
Okay. So you are...
What I've learned from my journey is that it keeps on getting reiterated that this journey is so specific to the individuals, and most importantly, the ancestors that lead us. When I first got my calling, I was very fearful. It was something I knew absolutely nothing about. But I thought the only way I could overcome this was to stop being so fearful, was to face challenges head on and allow myself to go through the difficult times and take the leap and be able to trust that there will be someone there to catch me.
I promise, I know exactly what I'm doing.
That someone being my ancestors, who never at any time made me feel like I was alone.
Exciting stuff.
They made me feel like I was secure in what I was doing.
There's lions in here.
Come on. You trust us?
A lot of people tend to dream, but it's all wishy-washy for them. It means nothing to them. It's just a dream based on activities that happen during the day. And dreams don't necessarily work that way. Dreams do use certain elements of your everyday life to bring you back to the now.
Dreams are divided into two. There are those dreams which are authentically from God. There are those which are from the devil.
I don't believe in dreams. I do dream, but I don't believe in dreams.
I don't think dreams are significant.
But most of the time they are significant. You dream about things that you want to aspire to do.
I don't have connection with my ancestors, and I don't believe in ancestors.
I believe that they're there, but I don't have sort of a connection to them.
I've grown up with people that actually had dreams whereby their ancestors are talking to them.
I cannot just abandon culture and tradition because now the Western side is taking over.
I don't really think much of my ancestors, to be honest. I don't really know them.
I love speaking to the older generation They are confident, they're comfortable in talking about their belief systems. Most importantly, they have a story to tell. They have lived, so it's an experience of their own or someone within their families. So they end up having so much more information to tell you about ancestries, about dreams, about anything related to their tradition. Mainly because most of their lives they have been practicing and doing the rituals that go along with being whatever ethnicity you are. With the younger people, none of them seem to care. None of them are bothered. It makes it unfortunate because we are the people who are creating the topics right now. A lot of what they know comes from people who have passed. You know, whether they were taught all of this while the person was still alive and now they have passed, their relationship does not deteriorate. It just means that you have one person you can rely on, whom you know will have your back, will always protect you, and will always relay messages to you, you know, when the time is necessary.
Dreams, which of course are basically indicating and basically showing you the way, and there are dreams which of course are foretelling about your life and other people's life and so forth. And the dreams which of course are those dreams which are bad dreams, which are negative dreams. Then we need then to begin to make a difference between the two. We live our dreams, both at the physical and as well as spiritual level. You'll find that you come across people who dreamed a dream 20 years ago. They never forget that dream. That is a genuine dream which came from their ancestors, which came from God. And that dream was actually communicating something to that particular person. That person decided to ignore the dream. And ignoring that particular dream dream became an obstacle and a negative force in that person's life. You see, until he addresses what was contained in that particular dream, that person will never see a way forward in his or her life.
It could be once off and it'd be detailed enough for them to know that they've left you with what you need to do, you know, and then you never dream of it again. Or it could be one of those things where it could be reoccurring to stress a point.
For me, before I became Buzangoma, before I became Ngaka, I knew nothing about it as well. I had to be taught from the beginning, to the point that when Haneki Lekobungoming, I was the only person who could speak English. And Kobela Waka used to say, you're going to express yourself in English. And I'd be like, remember, if this is real, it's going to take its course.
In the process of those dreams, you'll be one person amongst the clan or amongst people which, of course, you've surrounded yourself or your friends, who'll be able to tell certain things before they happen. And those are signs that indeed this person's got a calling.
Dreams are often distinguished from thought, thinking about something. But we don't necessarily need to make that distinction. Psychologists, especially Sigmund Freud and some of the 19th century philosophers, psychologists, made a clear distinction. Traditional healing doesn't necessarily make that distinction. People have dreams, and that tells them what they need to do. It tells them what their ancestors, the Madloti or Madlozi, want them to do. There isn't an easy path to entering trance, for instance, for controlling your dreams. Very often people lose control of that. Now that can happen to anyone, any place, any time, and it can be extreme, in which case, you know, we call it psychosis. In other cases, it can be a guiding influence. It can even be the source of knowledge as you think about something and bring it to conclusion. One way to do that is to enter training as a traditional healer.
Today, there's a whole blanket approach to what Buzangoma is about, what Bongaka is about, what witchcraft is about.
The old depict and show traditional healers and healing in a bad way.
Most of the information that has been produced by academics, or the academic information, is about the public aspects, the dancing, the performances, the clothing, just the strange look.
34701 to send in your SMSs. Let me just look at some of the SMSs that have come through. Emmanuel, again, talking about Christianity, and you guys were saying that you're also Christians. Where do you strike that balance?
We're not worshipping. They're not worshipping. If you know culture and you know your religion, there's a balance. You know how to balance it. I praise God, I worship God, and that's the only person I worship. My ancestors are my guardian angel who are there for me, or who are helping me heal someone on this earth. And for me, it's like fulfilling a journey, or fulfilling some of the stuff that they weren't able to do when they were still here, and they are doing it through me for me to help others.
We hide behind indaba zokuthi amadlozi amadimoni. Amadimoni akhona kodwa iphutha elikhulu ukuthi abantu bathi abazali babo nokhokho nomkhulu babo amadimoni. Iphutha elikhulu, inhlamba enkulu esabekayo futhi leyo. Amadimoni akhona kodwa akusibo lapho. Labo abantu owazalwa uzalo lwakho, impande yakho yiyo leyo. Ukhona namhlanje nje, namhlanje kusho ukuthi mawuzothi laba amadimoni, kusho ukuthi nawe uyidimoni ngokwakho.
All these stories, what actually happens at initiation schools?
You go through how to handle speaking to people, public relations and stuff like that, how a client would come in, you'd make them feel at home, you'd understand more of the psychological problems that one comes with, because a lot of people that come to Sangomas are not really sick physically, you know, they're sick emotionally, they're sick psychologically, so they teach you how to go through all of that, how to decipher a person by just looking at them, through their dreams, you know, understanding who they are, and get them from a place where they are from in distress to a place where they are where they can think clearly and have a way forward. Whether you tell them to go pray with candles, pray at a certain time of the night, or go bath in the river, get a cleansing, whatever the case is.
Because you must remember ukuthi ukwazi kwethu nokuhlakanipha kwethu emhlabeni akusafani nalabantu asebangale.
What is the gift?
It came with a lot of things. It came with knowledge, it came with wisdom, it came with understanding, and it came with growth as an individual.
Most important ones, it's when you then, these people are going to reveal themselves in a form of the way they are wearing. The way they are wearing. If it's a Sangoma, he'll then come, his traditional gear, and appear to you. That means that the person is communicating to you and saying, this is how I want you to dress.
Beads are extremely important because they've been in traditional healing for a couple thousand years. So you can put a number of things, including medicinal substances, together with beads, wrap them up in packages of different sorts for different uses, symbolize different things, and are very important in a process of protection of the body, protection of the self.
I use bones, where I use water, where I use light. So those are the three things that I would use at any given time for any of my clients. I let the process lead me. What am I going to use, and how am I going to heal the person? So again, I ask, okay, now guide me so that I can know
So unfortunately, we are overcrowded by all this evil or other things that people do. Yes.
And absolutely every single ethnicity in our country has a tradition of their own.
Abe bengifonela from on my phone bathumela ama-emails yintsha bafuna ukwazi and bayaphupha nezinto zebaphupha ziyathusa. Into engiyibonayo kakhulu enzakalayo ukuthi akusibo abangafuni into zesintu, akusibo futhi abanganamsebenzi nento zabantu. Into engiyibonayo kakhulu ukuthi abazali abafundisa abantwana babo, abazali bafihlele abantwana babo amaqiniso.
I think there's a problem. I think Southern Africa, South Africa, other countries in Southern Africa are losing cultural knowledge at a great rate.
And now that I'm in a position where I'm knowledgeable, this is my platform. This is a time for me to educate everyone else about what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. And at times, even the smallest things could be
your defining point in life.